Hey Miss Alois Math class, welcome back. Today we're going to start a new topic and we're going to talk about 3D shapes. Now, it's very important that we have a knowledge of 2D shapes before we move on to 3D shapes. So that's why we spent a lot of time the past couple of days talking about 2D shapes. Let's just review the 2D shapes that we talked about. We talked about a circle, we talked about a hexagon, we talked about a pentagon, a square, a rectangle, and a trapezoid. So those are the 2D shapes that we've discussed. Now we're going to move on to 3D shapes. So these are the 6 3D shapes that we're going to discuss today. We have a sphere, a cone, a cylinder, a pyramid, a cube, and a rectangular prism. Now I have these 3D blocks right here, and I'm just going to place them on each of these so you can see what each of them looks like in real life. So this is a sphere. A sphere is just like a ball. This is a cylinder. It's like a can, like a soda can you might drink out of. Cube is like a box. A cone, it's kind of like an ice cream cone. Actually, it looks just like an ice cream cone. A pyramid. And a rectangular prism. So we are going to discuss all of these shapes in depth. So that means we're going to talk about them deeply. So we're going to start with a cube. So now for each of these, we're going to talk about 3 things: faces, edges, and vertices. So we already know what vertices are. Vertices are the corners that 2 sides come to a point on a shape. Okay, so now you'll notice, let's look at this and we're going to count the vertices. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now we can also see that here. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So a cube has 8 vertices, and that's exactly what we have here. Now we're going to count the edges. The edges are right here, these straight lines on all parts of our 3D shape. Sometimes I think it's easier to count them and see them on here. So let's go ahead and count the edges. I'm going to start here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So these are the edges where you see these black and dotted lines. Now we're going to talk about the faces. The faces are this part. So where we see this flat square, that's a face. So let's go ahead and count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So a cube has 6 faces. Let's count them on here. We have this top one, 1, side one, 2, bottom one, 3, side one, 4, 5, front and back, 6. So a cube has 6 faces. So that's what we know about a cube, and it looks like a present. Moving on to a cone. So let's look at our cone here. Do we see any edges? There are no edges on our cone, so we don't see any edges. Now we see one vertex. It comes to one point. And then we see just one face because it's only one flat face. So that's what we know about a cone. Moving on to a rectangular prism. Let's look. Let's see how many vertices we have. It's easy because we just count them on each side because these are all the corners. 1, 2, I'll do it this way. 1, 2, 3, 4. Turn it over. 5, 6, 7, 8. We have 8 vertices, so let's count them on here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It's any corner that 2 sides come to and meet, or that any number of sides come to and meet. Okay, let's count the faces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Excellent. So what do we notice about a rectangular prism and a cube? They have the same amount. A rectangular prism is basically if you just took a cube and stretched it out. So then let's count the edges. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So those are all the edges of a rectangular prism. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Moving on to a sphere. This one's pretty easy. It has no faces. It has no edges, no pointy things, and no vertices. No edges, faces, or vertices. It's just a sphere. Round ball. Moving on to our pyramid. A pyramid is basically like a square cone. That's kind of how I think about it. So let's count the vertices. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. A pyramid has 5 vertices. Edges, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 edges. And let's count the faces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 faces, 8 edges, and 5 vertices. And last but not least, we have our cylinder. So this is a cylinder. It looks kind of like a drum. So we can see that it has no points. So it does not have any vertices, no points, and it just has 2 faces. 1, 2. So this is a cylinder. So let's just review all the shapes, the 3D shapes that we just talked about. We have a sphere with no faces, edges, or vertices, just a ball. We have a cone with just 1 circular face and 1 vertex. This is a cone. Okay, 1 cylinder. Again, no vertices, just 2 faces on either side. Then we have our pyramid. Pyramid has 5 faces. Don't forget to count the bottom. 5 vertices as well, and 8 edges. Okay, we have a cube. This one has 6 faces, 8 vertices, and 12 edges. And same with our rectangular prism. 6 faces, 8 vertices, and 12 edges. Now before I finish up, I just want to talk about what different 2D shapes make up these 3D shapes. So if we look at a cylinder, let's think, what 2 shapes do we, or actually 1 shape 2 times, do we see that we could use to draw a cylinder? Exactly, we can use circles to draw a cylinder. So we can use circles, which is a 2D shape, to draw a cylinder. Okay, what about a pyramid? What do we see on each side? It has 3 vertices and 3 sides. A triangle. you can use triangles to make a pyramid. And in the bottom, we see you need a square. So you can use triangles and squares to make a pyramid. All right, next we have a cube. What shape can we use to make a cube? We can use a square. You put squares on multiple sides to make a cube, just a square. Next, we have a rectangular prism. So on this one, these faces are rectangles. So you need rectangles to make a rectangular prism. And then you need a square. 2 squares and 4 rectangles to make a rectangular prism. Last one, we have a cone. So we see this cone and we see 1 circle to make the face of a cone. 1 circle is the 2D shape to make the face of a cone. All right, boys and girls, that is all that I have for you today about 3D shapes, but I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye, guys.